What is going on, YouTube? This is Jim back with another video. Here to talk to you guys today about Amazon Luna. I got a chance to sign up for it, and I was selected to participate in their soft launch, which is basically right now. And if you basically, in order to play it, they want you to sign up for a free 7-day trial, which I did. And then after that, you're going to be charged to continue the fun. And I spent some time with it today, and I've got to say that I don't like it personally, but I think there is definitely a market for this. Really, in the same vein that Stadia is something that I don't really particularly care for, only because I have a gaming computer to process everything here. Now, if you don't have a high-end gaming computer and you want to experience really nice, clear graphics and beautiful displays, much prettier than you see on the console. I'm talking about, Cyberpunk, very topical right now. If you want to see Cyberpunk the way it was meant to be, and you don't have the money or really the need to go out and procure a high-end gaming computer, then Stadia is a no-brainer. At least get it for a while, play it, and then be done with it. And it doesn't really cost you much more than a light subscription fee with the cost of the game, and then just toss it. It's a lot cheaper than a multi-$1,000 gaming computer, that's for certain. And what I think Amazon saw this and said, hey, look, we got really nice servers too. We are basically everywhere. It's easy for us to host and deliver content. We've seen it with Amazon Prime for many years now. So let's dabble into the gaming industry. So they did. And that's exactly what Luna is trying to do. They're trying to get into that streaming. And what they want you to do is pay them a monthly subscription fee and get a catalog of games that you can play. Now, that's a little different than what Stadia does. Stadia does charge for the game. They charge for the service on top of that. But Stadia also has, I would argue, a nicer collection of newer games. Luna is definitely games that have been out for a while. I'm looking at their list here. There are a lot of indie games that I have never heard of. And there are also some games that I have heard of and played 5 years ago. Played them on my PlayStation 3, like Brothers, The Tale of Two Sons. Control is probably the newest game that I'm looking at that they have out here. Metro Exodus is a newer-ish game, I guess. But you have a lot of games that are just old. The Surge 2. So, I guess what I'm saying is don't be fooled by the price, because you are getting a very small subset of what current games are. There's no Rockstar games on here. There's no Xbox first-party games. You're going to have to get Game Pass for that. There's no major hits that are like, what are people playing and talking about now? You're not going to get those on here. You're going to get those B-tier games that are old every so often, like I said, with Control, Metro Exodus. I'd even throw in a Plague Tale Innocence. I think those are probably the top three. Actually, they have Resident Evil 7. But that's getting up there too in age. But yeah, other than that, it's older games. Now, but again, you're not paying that much. I think it's like $6 a month, which isn't bad. You either can buy their controller, which is basically an Xbox controller, or you could use any one that you want and plug it right into your computer or your phone. There is a list of devices you can stream to. It was actually pretty impressive how easy it was to get this content delivered to you and begin playing. I used my tried and true Xbox Elite controller. I plugged it right into my PC, and no issues. It fired right up. The vibration worked. There's no options for changing any of the buttons or anything like that. You don't need to. Everything just works. You don't have to worry about graphics because they process everything on their end. I think you get some toggles for like brightness and contrast or something, but nothing to do with graphics. And just rest assured, this is the best version of the game. And I like that. They're going to be offering 4K 60 at some point. It's definitely not there now. I would argue it is struggling to get 30 frames a second in some instances, which is surprising. I also noticed, unfortunately, a lot of input lag, and I noticed a lot of really slow stuttering, like a rendering problem, where the game almost chugged. I was playing through the opening scene of The Surge, and looking around at the skybox as you're kind of navigating through to go into this program, it didn't look good. It looked very flipbooky, very, very bad. I saw a significant amount of screen tearing. My input delay was very noticeable. I noticed that again, even more so in a much more technical game like Blazing Chrome, for example, the Contra-like game, where movement is, I'm not going to say pixel perfect, but it's got to be pretty good. And I noticed on Blazing Chrome, I was dying a lot more than I did when I beat it on the Xbox a long time ago, because everything's delayed. You want to make a nice clean jump, you want to edge up to something, you're going to press it, and you're going to be cognizant of the fact that like you're pressing the analog stick in a direction and your character is not responding, but maybe half a second later. I assume with time, you probably just kind of get used to it and you accept that that's how the game should be played, but it's not. And playing through Project Stadia, or what became Stadia, I guess. I think they had, I can't remember what the Google code name was for it. I did a video review a long time ago, but playing through that, Stadia does not have that problem. I can honestly say Stadia, it does have a latency. But I feel like Amazon's Luna service had even more of a latency. And that was something that I think they need to fix. Now, again, you could argue it's an alpha. It's a pretty cheap price. I don't really know what you expect, honestly. That's not to say that money doesn't matter. I'm just saying for $6 to get access to a pretty big catalog, I'd say at least 40 or 50 games. Not all of them home runs, but to get all that for a small price, I don't really know what you'd expect. The one big criticism I have, though, really more than anything about the service, is their how they present the material to you to like pick what games you want. They have a big list across the top called Editor's Picks. It's the top bar when you load up the game. And they have like the Division 2 Ultimate Division, the Division 2 Ultimate Edition, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Special Collector Edition, the Crew Ultimate Edition. You're noticing a trend here. They're all Ubisoft games. Well, Luna has partnered with Ubisoft, but you don't get these games for free. You still have to have an Ubisoft Plus account to play. So if you want to play the Division 2 on Luna's service, you have to pay twice. You have to pay Amazon and you have to pay Ubisoft. So the way they present that, it's not entirely clear. So I see like, oh, wow, the Division 2, I want to see what that looks like. And you click on it, it's like, hey, play with your Ubisoft Plus subscription. Oh, don't have one? Click here. And then they forward you off to the Ubisoft site. So they're just funneling that traffic through their site. And I guess, again, I don't know, if you want to spend that kind of money and not get a gaming computer, you want to take and spend probably with the Uplay Plus and the Luna service, I don't know, probably cost you maybe $13, $14 a month, I'm guessing. I'm not sure what the Uplay Plus currently runs for if they're doing some like bulk, discount. You're going to get a lot of games, and they're going to run max settings. They're going to look phenomenal. They're going to control slower, though, but you're going to have fun with them. So I guess for somebody who has really just been living in a vacuum for years and is like, oh my God, I've never played any Assassin's Creed ever. Oh my God, I've never played the Division ever. This might be for you. As far as the graphics themselves go, as I mentioned, the processing of the graphics it's going to be the highest possible. Amazon is going to take care of that for you. How it looks on your screen, it didn't look bad for me. Way less pixelization than I thought. I still think they have an issue with some of the darks, particularly when you have a lot of really, really vibrant black colors. It kind of overpowers the image and it looks washed out. And that's something I think they need to work on. Now, you do have a little bit of brightness with the control. You have that contrast and that brightness setting, as I mentioned. You might be able to bump it up slightly, but games just look dark. It looked like they were rendered a little too dark, and I suspect a lot of it has to do with saving bandwidth to try to get you the best signal possible. The fact that you have to set an input into your controller, it's got to go all the way to their server, process, and then send it back to you. There's going to have to be some sort of concession on the delivery service, and it seems like they're still working that out, honestly. Like I said, there was some screen tearing. It struggled at 30 frames at times, and I felt like the color was a little off. But I'm not crapping on it because, honestly, it's not a bad deal. And I think I like this model significantly better, and even though there's not a whole lot to it, and even though they're being a little shady with the way that Uplay kind of is incorporated, I think I like that model better than the Stadia model because you're not really owning anything, but you're just paying a small portion of it to play and then you move on. I would almost think of this as, in a sense, like if you didn't know if you wanted to get into PC gaming or not, I would start here. Honestly, I would start here to see kind of like what it was like. If like, do you really like high-end graphics? Does it really matter? Are you content playing games on your PlayStation 4 or your 5 and they don't look as good? Maybe, but this is a good starting point. I don't not recommend it. It's just not for me personally, but I could see instances where honestly, you know, you could enjoy it. And as I mentioned, there are so many ways to play this thing. It's ridiculous the amount of when it's like, okay, what do you want to play on? You can play with the two devices at once. You can play on your PC, you can play on a Mac, you can play on your Fire TV, you can play on your iPhone, you can play on your iPad. Like, it's like, wow, like pretty much every device you own, you're going to be able to participate in this. So if you're interested, check it out. It's called Amazon Luna. They have a little trial going on right now. You can give it a whirl and see if it's for you. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, found this content informative. Leave some comments below. Let me know your thoughts on all this wonderful stuff. And that'll be it for now. So take care of yourselves, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.